Ochaco, Uraraka. Today I want to dissect this student from Class 1A, this female protagonist, main protagonist of My Hero Academia, an amazing anime, a fantastic manga. Ochaco is technically the main female protagonist. She's pretty great. I do like the fact that they don't waste time with her character on, what would you call it, fan service. She is taken pretty seriously. I do like that early on in the series, she's one of the first kids to befriend Deku, to befriend Izuku Midoriya, our main character. Her and Ida. She actually plays a big role in Deku's character development during the UA entrance exams when she becomes a damsel in distress and is in danger, and Deku uses his quirk for the very first time, breaking his arm and legs, saving Ochaco from a gigantic robot during the test. But in turn, she saves his life from falling to his death by using her quirk, Zero Gravity. She can make things float. She can basically make things have zero gravity, and they float away. One of the things that I think about when I think of her character first is when Aizawa decides to test Class 1A, he has them all throw little baseballs around to see who can throw the baseball the farthest. There was other things as well, but this was something that stood out to me with Ochaco, is she threw the baseball and used her quirk to float it away into infinity. So she just won that test, basically, and I thought that was pretty cool. But really, after that, in Season 1, I think we learned that she is actually not becoming a pro hero because of the fame, not because she wants to save people necessarily, but she wants to make money. She wants to do this for the money so she can help her parents financially. She wants to help them retire. They struggle with money, and I think that's cool. I think the fact that they did that real early on, that we found out that she's human. And that's something a lot of these heroes do it for. It's a job. She treats being a pro hero like a job. And I think later on, she gets more into the idea of saving people. But it's cool that this whole thing is really to help them. Even if they can't retire, they can at least go down to part-time. We can all understand that. It's fair. It does not make her a bad person in any way, shape, or form. She's a good person. She's just thinking, I want to do this because heroes get paid. And I want to get paid for my abilities. I have a quirk that's unique. I have an ability. I have a look. I have a personality. In all honesty, she could become a top 10 pro. It's not all about being powerful. She's got everything that she would need to start her own agency. She could be very popular with the kids, with the adults. She could easily break that upper echelon of the top 10 pros. Do I think she'd be a number 1 pro? No. But top 10, easily. And she's got being, the main character of My Hero Academia's love interest on her side as well. Another things that she does early on is she teams up with Izuku during the battle trial arc and takes on Bakugo and Ida in All Might's first big test for the class. And she and Izuku, they win. They win this test by grabbing the bomb with teamwork. They find a way. They find a way out of no way because they take on a pretty strong team. Bakugo alone is tough. But him and Ida, the speedster, she floats her way to victory here. During the USJ, she doesn't get to do a whole lot. The USJ arc, when they get attacked by the villains for the very first time, she doesn't really get a major fight as, of note. She does help Ida get away to save the day. But that's all that happens there. But her biggest moment to date, in my opinion, was during the sports festival. Not during the race, not during the cavalry battle, where she teams up with Izuku again, but during the 16-man tournament, one-on-one tournament, round 1, when she goes head-to-head with Bakugo. This was such a cool idea, in my opinion. I mean, this is like Sakura versus Sasuke in Naruto. If they had did that in the Chunin exams, if they just had her go ahead and fight one of the strongest kids in the entire school, hands down. Even at this point during the show, Bakugo's upper echelon of the entire school. He's naturally gifted physically. He's talented. He's smart. She is the underdog in this fight, but she not only brings it, she doesn't accept any help from Deku in this fight. She doesn't give up. She gets blown up multiple times by Bakugo, but keeps getting up, keeps moving forward, and her only way to win is to touch him and make him float out of bounds. So we thought. She actually had a backup plan where she was taking rubble that was being blown off the arena by Bakugo and making it float above him and was going to drop it on his head. And really, if it wasn't Bakugo, she probably could have won this fight, but he blew it all up. And then in the end, after she kicked Major Butte and did her absolute best, even though she lost, she called her parents and was crying, and they were like, "It's fine, we thought you were badass. You made it to the top 16 of all those students. You made it to the top 16. That's pretty good, I would say myself. I think those are all first-year students, but top 16, damn, not bad." And after that, she doesn't get to really do a whole lot during the Stain arc of My Hero Academia, the Hero Killer arc, but she does get to have a hero agency internship with Gunhead. I want to say his name is Gunhead. This hero that really doesn't do a whole lot in the show. This is really Gunhead's big moment, is teaching Uraraka physical hand-to-hand combat. And I have been preaching this ever since I started dissecting these students. A lot of them could benefit from learning hand-to-hand combat, because sometimes these fights come down to hand-to-hand combat. Imagine you're going to fight Eraserhead in a one-on-one battle. He's going to erase your quirk, so your quirk can't be used against him. And he's not only perfected his hand-to-hand combat, so he will come and whip your ass. If you don't have hand-to-hand combat, you best have a incredible quirk, and hope that you're not taking on Eraserhead, or someone who can block your quirk. If your quirk is what you rely on to win every fight, you're gonna meet an opponent like Aizawa, who will take it away from you or will catch you by surprise, and the only thing that can save you is instinct and hand-to-hand combat training, physical training. And only a few of the students actually focus on physical hand-to-hand combat. And Uraraka is one of the first to actually take that and improve it. Improve her taijutsu, if you want to call it. And she uses it later on in the series multiple times to take down opponents without using her quirk, or in combination with her quirk. It's the way to go, people. I mean, really, if you look at some of the best pros in My Hero Academia, they have improved not only their abilities, their superpowers, but they've also improved their physical bodies athletically and in hand-to-hand combat. It's just, you have to have that, or you need to be rather invincible otherwise. So during that, she got stronger physically, and that was cool. And I like that they bring it back over and over again to help her and help her friends. During the finals exam arc, she had to team up with Can't Stop Twinkling, and they passed their test. They had to take on number 13, I believe. This fight was very quick. It was maybe 3 minutes of screen time. They kind of cut into the middle of it where they're going to get sucked into the black hole. And I believe she used her hand-to-hand combat in combination with her quirk to win and put the handcuffs on number 13. And they passed. In my opinion, I think they should have allowed more screen time for this, because it really felt like they just skipped right on by. And I get it was kind of a joke that he called her out on having a crush on somebody, Deku, obviously. And really, she did, and they passed and everything, but it just felt lackluster. Didn't really feel like they passed with honor, in my opinion. But they passed, and that's pretty cool. They go to the training camp where she's focusing on learning how to float herself without getting sick. Sometimes she would get really sick if she floated herself too much. She can really learn how to fly. Basically, she needs to fly. That's one of her abilities, and that she's getting better at. And the ability to fly makes you not only a popular hero in the world, but it makes you pretty hard to beat. When the villains attacked, she got a really major moment going head-to-head with Toga from the villain, from the League of Villains, and that was pretty cool. It even surprised Toga. She used the hand-to-hand combat that she learned from Gunhead to take Toga down, this psychopath who's been wrecking people. So that was cool. That was pretty cool. She was not involved in the rescue of Bakugo. Sadly, I think Momo took that spot in the squad, the Baku Rescugo squad. She did pass the provisional hero license exam. Nothing truly of note there, where she did something badass. She did save people using her floating quirk and whatnot. But she really took a back seat for a while during the show for a long period of time. It felt like she wasn't in the spotlight where she should be as a main female protagonist. She did get to have another pro internship after she got her hero license, along with Froppy and one of the big three with the Dragoon hero. But it was really underwhelming because it didn't feel like they learned anything on screen that we got to see. She and Froppy kind of developed a friendship, a team, some team techniques together, but it feels like they could have done that with any other pro hero, not just the Dragoon hero, whatever her damn name is. Her and Froppy developed some really cool team moves. She got to be a part of the raid arc where they took down the Hayazaki raid arc, Shihai Hayazaki raid arc, where they took down the Yakuza, or they took down Overhaul. That was cool, but she really didn't get to be a big part of that. They didn't really focus in on her in this arc, sadly enough. She was there, at least. She had that going for her and Froppy. But they kind of skipped their fight for the most part. They didn't give them the spotlight like they should have. They should have given them an entire episode showing just how far they've come. They were there and they assisted, but that was really it. I think she really needs a straight up one-on-one fight to prove herself, just like she did with Bakugo. That was her highlight thus far. She needs to go head to head with somebody like Bakugo again. Maybe a different villain from the League of Villains than Toga, because we've seen it. It's been okay, I guess. She needs to go head to head with someone tough and actually get the big W, get the win. She needs that win. She deserves that win, if you ask me. I think she needs to find another mentor other than Gunhead, other than the Dragoon Hero. She needs to separate herself from Froppy, in my opinion. Same with Froppy. I think Froppy needs to separate herself from Uraraka. They're besties, and that's great and all, but I feel like both characters are amazing, and they both need their own personal goals other than making money. And they need to set themselves apart a little bit. One thing that's really interesting about Uraraka is she doesn't have a rival. A lot of main protagonists have rivals, like Ino and Sakura, which wasn't a great story to tell to begin with, but at least she had a rival. And I kind of like that they didn't go down that path. I like that the girls in Class 1A all get along. But maybe a girl from Class 1B. I mean, Momo's kind of got a rival in Class 1B. Why not Uravity? Uravity could have had a rival. She could have... Monoma. It doesn't have to be another chick. Just someone that she doesn't like. I guess she doesn't like May, the tech girl that builds support items, but they're not necessarily rivals physically. I think she needs someone to challenge herself. I guess her closest rival right now is Toga from the League of Villains. And like I said, I do like the fact that the students of Class 1A aren't rivals with each other. And in a lesser anime, they might have made Momo, the rich girl, be the main rival to Uraraka. And maybe at this point, now that they're all friends and whatnot, maybe they can become rivals at some point if they ever get back to school again. If you're caught up in the manga, shit's going down. But other than being a part of the festival where they did the singing with Jiro and whatnot in the whole school, which she didn't do a whole lot there. I did think it would have been interesting if because they at some point they needed Deku to take Can't Stop Twinkling and run him across like a disco ball. I'm like, why didn't they just have Ochaco float him up as like a disco ball above the crowd instead of having Deku step away from being on the stage and just have her float him up and float around and make a big exciting concert. I don't know, just a small little nitpick. I guess the next thing that she does in the anime is she's a part of Deku's team once again, Mineta and Mina Ashido. And they are in a group of 4 versus a group of 5 from Class 1B, including Shinzo. And they win. They win their joint training arc with Class 1B. And she's a big part of that, actually. She not only assists Deku and saves him from the black whip that was just going wild and could have seriously injured Monoma or Shinzo, but she saves them. She saves him from falling, catches him like a damsel in distress. She helps Mina and Mineta win their fights using her quirk, using her hand-to-hand combat. Once again, like I said, a lot of these students need to work on hand-to-hand combat. Not her, though. Not Uravity. She's got it down. I'm sure she can get better at it. But she's been using that shit over and over again in every season, and it's been helpful. And I think the other students, like Mina, like Mineta, even Deku, should learn how to use hand-to-hand combat without using his quirk. He's better at it than most, but I think if he got his quirk erased by Aizawa, he would be almost defenseless against anybody who was stronger than him. And I feel like Uravity would be able to hold her own with some of her physical techniques that she learned. And I think that was pretty cool. I would say Ochaco's biggest moment so far in the manga, past where the anime is, so spoiler alert, is she does help Deku come back to the school, and that's just recently happened. He went on his little rogue adventure because he felt like he didn't want to get anybody else hurt, and she helped him get over himself and helped other people accept Deku back into the UA, and just to let everybody know how hard this kid's working and how they all should look up to him because he's saving the effing day. So she did get to do that. But like I said, I think this character has a lot of potential. She could easily be a top 10 hero. I think her quirk could be pretty damn powerful. I mean, imagine, I think she could only float things to a certain weight, maybe her own weight, maybe a little more. But imagine if she was able to increase the power of her quirk and float somebody like Gigantomachia. Like, that would be insane. Float that beast so he's basically unable to help anybody. Drop him if necessary. Just float him away from the battlefield. I don't know if she could do something like that, but maybe if she evolved her quirk a little bit more, she could. She's got so much potential. I almost hope that she doesn't end up with Deku in the end. Maybe Deku will sacrifice himself for the class, and she'll end up with Bakugo. Or maybe they just become friends. I don't know. She's been lovesick for Deku for a while now, and it's almost gotten to the point of annoyance. Her character does have major moments, like her fight with Bakugo, like her saving Deku during the joint training arc, but she's got so many bad moments where she's lovesick for Deku, and it's like they need to just focus on becoming pro heroes right now, or start dating or something. Do something about that. Move on. There's bigger and badder things on the way, and they need to focus on saving the motherfucking day, in my opinion. But like I said, she's great, and I think she deserves more. Going forward, she's one of the best students in Class 1A, and I think she can hold her own with pretty much everybody in that class at this point. I think if she went head-to-head with Bakugo again, she might even stand a better chance now that she's increased her physical hand-to-hand combat abilities. I would love to see her go one-on-one with somebody like Momo or Mina, just to show her skills against her fellow classmates. I really hope that at some point, when all this League of Villains war is over, we get to have another sports festival, because it'd be great to see how far these students have come when they go head-to-head against each other once again. Maybe in their third year, before they graduate, they'll have the final sports festival just to see them kick some bootay. I would appreciate that one. Do I think that she's the traitor of Class 1A? No, I do not. Do I think that she will die in My Hero Academia? I don't. That would be a big shocker if they killed her off at some point. I do suspect that one member from Class 1A will die before the end of this show, but I do not think it's going to be Ochaco. She's so important to the story. They're probably going to end up together with the main character, with Izuku. I don't think she's going down anytime soon. I could see somebody like Mina or Momo go down, but not Uravity. I think she's got more to do going forward. I think she's going to be a top 10 pro when they finally get everything fixed and they all graduate and everything's happy-go-lucky. I'm Mr. Morfetto. Would you please like, share, comment? What do you think of Ochaco? Please subscribe to the Mr. Morfetto YouTube page. I will talk to you later.